What is diabetes? Why do we see such a high incidence of it? What can we do to prevent it? Diabetes is a disease in which the blood glucose levels or the blood sugar levels are too high because the pancreas cannot produce insulin or the body cannot utilize the insulin that the pancreas makes. There is a high prevalence of it, being about 8.5% globally and 10.5% in the US.
When someone eats an apple, the glucose travels down their body until it is released into the small intestine. The glucose is then absorbed into the blood, making the glucose concentration in the blood high. The high blood glucose concentration stimulates the beta cells in the pancreas to release insulin into the blood. Then, insulin receptors on different cells, in this case, a fat cell, bind to insulin. Then, an inactive PIP2 cell becomes autophosphorylated by the receptor, turning it into its active state, PIP3. The activated PIP3 pool then is able to travel to the Rab proteins and activate them. In a cascade of events, the Rab proteins are activated and are then used to move the GLUT4 protein to the membrane of the cell. The GLUT4 storage vesicles are then at the cell membrane and are able to shuttle the glucose from the bloodstream into the fat cells. From here, there are two possibilities. The glucose can either go through glucogenesis, where it becomes glycogen, or it can go through lipogenesis, where it turns into a lipid. This whole process clears glucose from the bloodstream.
If there is a disruption in this pathway, people can develop diabetes. It is very easy to disrupt the pathway with an improper diet and an inactive lifestyle. Genetics also play a role, but they cannot be changed. There are three main types of diabetes. Type 1 diabetes can develop at any age, but it is most common in children and adolescents. This is when your body produces little to no insulin, so you need daily insulin shots to keep your glucose levels under control. Type 2 diabetes is more common in adults and more common all around. It makes up about 90% of all diabetes cases. This is when your body cannot properly utilize the insulin that your pancreas makes. It can usually be treated with a healthy lifestyle and a proper diet, but sometimes oral drugs are required. Gestational diabetes, or GDM, is when people have high blood glucose during pregnancy. It can lead to complications to both mother and the child. It usually disappears after pregnancy, but both the mother and the child have a higher chance of developing type 2 diabetes later in their lives. There are many health problems associated with diabetes. It can lead to more serious problems affecting heart and blood vessels, eyes, kidneys, nerves, and teeth. It also gives people a higher chance of developing infections in the future. So make sure to always eat right and stay healthy. Bye!